Assalamu alaikum fam, hope you're doing well, hope your day is going fantastic. Let's continue our reading of Sahih al Bukhari. We are in the book of knowledge, chapter 11, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alright, listen to this while you're on your long commute. I was stuck in traffic today. It was horrible, so hopefully you can listen to this while you're in traffic, because who likes traffic? The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to take care of the people in preaching by selecting a suitable time so that they might not run away, never made themselves averse or bored with them religious talk and knowledge all the time. Okay, so don't bore them and then make it at a good time. Okay. Narrated Ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to take care of us in preaching by selecting a suitable time so that we might not get bored. He abstained from pestering us with religious talk and knowledge all the time. There you go. So kind of diversifying it, right? Narrated Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Make things easy for the people, and do not make things difficult for them, and give them glad tidings, and do not repel them." Do not repel them. So make things easy. So if you're trying to make things difficult for people on purpose, you gotta look at that. Chapter 12. Whoever fixed a special day for giving a religious talk to the students. Narrated Abu Wa'il, may Allah be pleased with him, Abdullah used to give a religious talk to the people on every Thursday. Once a man said, "O Aba Abdur Rahman, by Allah, I wish if I could preach us daily. If you could preach to us daily." He replied, "The only thing which prevents me from doing so is that I hate to bore you, and no doubt I take care of you in preaching by selecting a suitable time, just as the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to do with us, for fear of making us bored." Wow, so it's just like suitable time, and then not doing it too much. I mean, I've had that, or I had a really cool food runner who worked with me in a restaurant, and he used to talk about Christianity a lot in the morning when we were working, and we had to like scrub things and clean, and we were not at the time for it. And then one of the cooks kind of yelled at him and he stopped. But it's like, sometimes I think about him. He could talk about that, when we're on our lunch break. Not too early in the morning when people are like just getting in, It's like 7 a.m. It's a bit early, Chapter 13. If Allah Azza wa Jal wants to do good to a person, He makes him comprehend the religion, the understanding of the Quran, and As-Sunnah, legal ways of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I've heard this quite often from my favorite scholars, and more I can totally see how it's true. Really, truly. Narrated Muawiyah, may Allah be pleased with him, and a khutbah religious talk. I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, "If Allah wants to do good to a person, He makes him comprehend the religion, the understanding of the Quran, and As-Sunnah, legal ways of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I am just a distributor, but the grant is from Allah Azza wa Jal. And remember that this nation, true Muslims, real followers of Islamic monotheism, will remain obedient to Allah's orders, i.e. following strictly Allah's book, the Quran, and the Prophet's Sunnah, legal ways. And they will not be harmed by anyone who will oppose them by going on a different path, till Allah's order, day of judgment, is established." Okay, nice. Chapter 14. The superiority of comprehending knowledge. Narrated Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, we were with the Prophet, peace be upon him, and a spadix of a date palm tree was brought to him. On that he said, "Amongst the trees there is a tree which resembles a Muslim." I wanted to say that it was the date palm tree, but as I was the youngest of all of them, I kept quiet. And then the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "It is the date palm tree." Oh, it's cute. Chapter 15. Wish to be like the one who has knowledge and al-hikmah, wisdom, the knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah, legal ways of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said, everyone must acquire sound religious knowledge early before he becomes a chief. Abu Abdullah said, the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, had studied in spite of the fact that they were old in age. So look at that. Even if you're older, you can still learn, you just don't give up. Just keep going, Don't think because you're, in your 60s or something that you don't have to do anything in terms of perfecting your understanding. We all learn till the day we die, right? Narrated, Abdullah bin Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, do not wish to be like anyone except in two cases. The first is a person whom Allah has given wealth and he spends it righteously according to what Allah has ordered in a just and right way. The second is the one whom Allah has given al-hikmah, wisdom, i.e. the knowledge of the Quran and Sunnah, legal ways of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and he acts according to it and teaches it to others. So look at that. So only wish to be like somebody who is wealthy and spends their wealth in a halal way, or someone who is really religiously versed in the Sunnah and the Quran. So there you go. Chapter 16. What has been said about the journey of Prophet Musa Moses, peace, may Allah be pleased with him, when he went in the sea to meet Al-Khidr, and the statement of Allah, may I follow you so that you teach me, v. 1866. Narrated, Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, that he differed with Hur bin Qais bin Hisan al-Fazari regarding the companion of the Prophet Musa Moses. Ibn Abbas said that he was Khidr. Meanwhile, Ubay bin Ka'b passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, my friend Hur and I have differed regarding Musa's companion whom he asked the way to meet. Have you heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, mentioning something about him? He said, yes, I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, while Musa, may Allah be pleased with him, was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, do you know anyone who is more learned than you, Musa? May Allah be pleased with him. Musa replied, no. So Allah sent the divine revelation to Musa. Yes, our slave Khidr, the more learned than you. Musa asked Allah how to meet him, Khidr. So Allah made the fish as a sign for him, and he was told that when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him, Al-Khidr. So Musa went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The boy servant of Musa said to him, do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish. None but Satan made me forget to remember it. On that, Musa, may Allah be pleased with him, said, that is what we have been seeking. v. 1864. So they went back retracting their footsteps, and found Khidr, and what happened further to them is narrated by Allah in his book, the Quran, v. 1854 up to v. 1882. I remember that story. So the fish as a sign for him. Perfect. Chapter 17. The statement of the Prophet, peace be upon him, O Allah, bestow on him, Ibn Abbas, the knowledge of the book, the Quran. Narrated, Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. Once the Prophet, peace be upon him, embraced me and said, O Allah, bestow on him the knowledge of the book, the Quran. Hey, there you go. That's a good endorsement, right? Chapter 18. At what age may a youth be listened to, i.e. quotation of the hadith from a boy, be acceptable? Narrated, Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. Once I came riding a Shi'as and had just attained the age of puberty. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was offering Salah prayer at Mina. There was no wall in front of him, and I passed in front of some of the rows while they were offering their Salah. There I let the Shi'as loose to graze and enter the row, and nobody objected to it. And entered the row. So he let the donkey go, and then he went and entered the row. And he had just, what age do boys go through puberty now? Like 13, 14? I don't know, I don't remember. So, alright, there you go. Narrated Mahmud bin Rabi, may Allah be pleased with him. When I was a boy of 5, I remember the Prophet, peace be upon him, took water from a bucket used for getting water out of a well with his mouth and threw it on my face. Chapter 19. To go out in search of knowledge. Jabir bin Abdullah traveled for 1 month to get a single hadith from Abdullah bin Unais. Well, would you look at that? Wow, can you imagine? Cool for Jabir. He traveled for a month just to get one hadith from Abdullah. And some people won't even meet up for coffee. Wow, or I don't know, text somebody. Think about it. Wow, look at that. Much respect to Jabir. Narrated Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, that he differed with Hur bin Qais bin Hisn al-Fazari regarding the companion of the Prophet, Musa Moses. Meanwhile, Ubay bin Ka'b passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, my friend Hur and I have differed regarding Musa's companion whom he asked the way to meet. Have you heard of Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, mentioning something about him? Ubay bin Ka'b said, yes, I heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, mentioning something about him, saying, while Musa, may Allah be pleased with him, was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, do you know anyone who is more learned than you? Musa replied, no. So Allah sent the divine revelation to Musa, yes, our slave Khidr is more learned than you. Musa asked Allah how to meet him. Al-Khidr. So Allah made the fish a sign for him, and he was told when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him, Al-Khidr. So Musa went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The boy servant of Musa said, do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish. None but Satan made me forget to remember it. On that Musa said, that is what we have been seeking. So they went back, retracing their footsteps, and found Khidr, and what happened further about them is narrated by Allah in his book, the Quran, V18:54 up to V18:82. Well, him forgetting the fish, led to something positive. So a lot of people would get really mad if you forgot some fish. But Musa Moses showed patience, right? Chapter 20. The superiority of a person who learns Islam, becomes a religious scholar, and then teaches it to others. Narrated Abu Musa, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, the example of guidance and knowledge with which Allah has sent me is like abundant rain falling on the earth, some of which was fertile soil that absorbed rainwater and brought forth vegetation and grass in abundance, and another portion of it was hard and held the rainwater, and Allah benefited the people with it, and they utilized it for drinking, making their animals drink from it, and to irrigate the land for cultivation. And a portion of it was barren, which could neither hold the water nor bring forth vegetation. Then that land gave no benefits. The first is the example of the person who comprehends Allah's religion, Islam, and gets benefit from the knowledge which Allah Azza wa Jal has revealed through me, the Prophet, and learns and then teaches it to others. The last example is that of a person who does not care for it and does not take Allah's guidance revealed through me. He is like that barren land. So there you go. Knowledge constantly feeds, doesn't it? It's important. That's what we're doing here. You're listening to it on your commute. You're washing dishes. You're cooking chicken. You're playing with your cat.